Hey guys, what's up? This is Art, back for another video. One thing I'm gonna tell you, the last video I did about black conservatives, that kind of got away from me. I had an idea, had a well thought out plan, and all of a sudden it all went to shit. That kind of happens sometimes. Oh well. Basically, the basics of that video is that even though some people you don't expect to be conservative, they are, and that's okay. Problem is that sometimes you don't know why they're conservative. The problem is that if you support something, support it. That's fine. I don't care. Just don't try to tell me I'm wrong in supporting what I want to believe. Now, the thing is, you might say some stuff, and I might say, yeah, I don't think that's correct, but that's okay. But anyway, enough of that debacle. It's Tuesday, so Monday was a really awesome day for me. We had a big download on our computers at work, no big deal. By 11 o'clock, I was shut out of every major program that I need for security violations, for security issues. So what happened was, I said, screw it, I'm going to lunch, restart my computer, couldn't even get on it. So I had to, technically, I was on hold. I was on hold for like 3 hours yesterday. So I read a book. Because there's nothing I can do. I told my boss, I said, hey, my computer's down, security issues, I'm calling the help desk. And they said, okay, fine. All my interviews was done for today, so that was great. So what happened for 3 hours, I was sitting there like this. Our call center are busy right now. I have a high vol call you. Because every time when there's a big upload or some kind of update, shit happens. But anyway, what can you do? By the end of the day, I was like, screw this. I'm calling my boss, say, look, I can't get on, I'll try again tomorrow. She said, no problem. I'll let everybody know. So technically from 7 o'clock this morning to almost 8:30, I was on hold. And I got through and I'm able to log on to my stuff. But I couldn't access certain things. And I should have checked that first. I should have checked it, but you know me, I'm just kind of dumb like that, or just didn't think about it. So there were certain things that I really needed to access, I couldn't access. So I said, okay, let me try to restart it. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to restart it. I'm going to close everything up. So what happened? I restarted, and I got through the same problem all over again. But what happened was that I didn't restart. I didn't shut down and restart it. I just shut down. I said, I'm going to call the help desk. I'm having problems with security issues again. Can't get in certain programs. Everybody's like, okay, fine. Shut down, and I was technically this time like an hour and a half before I'm online and popping, so to speak. So basically, by the time I took my lunch at 1, I got back. By the time I was back online, it was 2:30, and I was leaving at 3:30. So I was like an hour, answered some phone calls, and did some stuff, and that's fine. We over the weekend, like was it Friday or something like that? We paid some guy like $300 to cut some branches from the trees and stuff like that. He was supposed to come back and finish it up, but like it was like 90 plus degrees, and he's trying to cut all this stuff. And I said, oh, he probably will come back tomorrow. He showed up Saturday, then he left, and there was still a whole big mess of stuff out there. So after I got off work, during the time when I was, there's a good story. During the time I was at work, my mother went to go to one of the linen closet in the hallway to try to get some kind of blanket or something, and she pulls up, and she just, like my room right here, I could look right there and see where basically it's right there. And I'm just like, what's going? Why is she standing there looking at me like this? So and she knows I'm on the phone, so she's like, okay. So I said, okay, let me get off the phone first. And I was like, what the hell's going on? I said, see, take a look. And I look up. There's a big freaking hole. And I'm like, what the hell? There's a big freaking. It's like, for example, like you see like that. It's like plywood, right? The outdoor of our house is brick, and somehow the caulking and everything else, because of all the storms and weather damage, it was like all wood and rotted out. So there was a big gaping hole outside. So some creator got inside the house and started chewing up stuff. Probably getting some stuff for a nest or whatever. So I'm like, oh crap. So we got to fill this up. So we got to try to stopgate that real fast. So I was still on the clock, so I couldn't do anything. So my mom, patched that up real fast. I went outside and cleared up some of those branches and shit like that. And it was like about 5 o'clock, and I was like, I'm tired. Man, took a shower, relaxed a little bit, took a quick nap, and I was eating dinner. Had tacos. Since we had a lot of chicken left, I had chicken tacos. I don't care. I'm like, screw this. I ain't having beef. I'm having chicken tacos. Get some more reading. I read so far like 3 books in the last 2 days. And what's going to happen as soon as I read this other book, then I'll do a review on those books like I usually do. Other than that, it's been a really, really awesome start of the good work week. Very awesome start. Hopefully you guys are doing good and not having too much problems with stuff. Hopefully some of you are doing so well. And what happened was I saw this one video I really wanted to see. It was about systemic racism. And this one person who doesn't believe in that was trying to debunk it. And of course, the local conservative hero Ben Shapiro debunked the whole thing in a sense. And the problem is that all these people who try to debunk shit like this never experience this kind of thing. They never do their homework on it. They don't. I'll give you an example. What they call systematic racism is you take 2 people, okay? One in a decent neighborhood, one in a low income neighborhood. I'll give you a good example. If you want to Google this, if you want to Google it, Google Inkster, Michigan. Inkster, Michigan. That city is a very poor city. That's the city where my job is based out of, and I deal with a lot of low-income people. 60% of Inkster is low income, so there's not very much of a tax base. So, of course, schools had to have some kind of tax-based system. Now, I'm not saying everybody in that area. Now, part of Westland is in that area. I grew up in Westland, and the Westland, if you look at the wet map, the part of Westland I lived in is right between Inkster and Romulus. So I lived in the Inkster school district. Now, what happens is that in the Inkster school district does not have any schools anymore. They don't have any more schools. All the schools closed because they can't afford to keep them open. They couldn't afford to keep them open. And the state of Michigan doesn't really support those schools. Doesn't really put money into those schools. So here's the thing. So the idea of systemic or systematic racism is the fact that you take a person who lives in a low-income area like that. He goes to schools, but the schools there are less funded. Let's put it that way. So 9 times out of 10, when he gets out of school, he's a little bit further behind than somebody who lives in a moderate neighborhood who has a somewhat decent, who has a tax base with a school system. And that's what it says. Now the problem is with that is that it all depends. It's situational. It all depends where you grew up. And true, where you grew up doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna have a different style of education. Like I said, I used to live in the Inkster school district, and what happened was my parents knew that My dad was like, well, we pay for Inkster school. We paying taxes to the Inkster school system, so he should go to Inkster schools. My mom was like, no, he should go to private school. So, and private school kicked my ass. Okay. So here's the thing. Does it exist? I wouldn't really call it systematic racism, but that's what the buzzword is, and I found out about that like a year or so ago. I'm like, what the hell is that? And then when I saw about it, I was like, oh, okay. For example, this one city in Detroit area called Grosse Pointe have two high schools, Grosse Pointe and Grosse Pointe North. Grosse Pointe is a very affluent neighborhood. Now, Grosse Pointe North deals with Grosse Pointe itself. Grosse Pointe School, I believe, has parts of Detroit in it. So 9 times out of 10, it's a better school. Some of these kids, instead of going to Detroit school, they go to this school, which has better stuff than most Detroit schools. In which most Detroit schools are closed up and gone because they can't afford to keep them open. Now, sometimes some people say, well, that's just bad administration. Possibly. To tell you the truth, Inkster Public Schools, they paid this person who's the new superintendent at one year, $90,000 to revamp their school system. And everybody looked up, and the people looked up, why are you paying this person $90,000 to revamp a school system? We should just ask more money from the state of Michigan to help us out. And if they try to do that, the state of Michigan will say no because they don't want to play favoritism. But who cares about that shit? But that's what people try to debunk. I don't know. Do I believe in it? A little. I wouldn't really call it systematic racism, but then again, in these low income areas, usually they're black and Hispanic. That's the thing. And there's some whites. So yeah, I don't know. But anyway, don't want to dwell on that topic that much anymore because it's stupid, in my opinion. Trying to delve into something that you're not gonna have any part of. It's just like me trying to tell you how to be. For example, it's like me trying to tell a person who's in the armed forces how the armed forces is. You're gonna look at me like I'm stupid because you never been in the armed forces. You never experienced the armed forces. How can you tell me what it's like to be in the armed forces, right? Exactly. But anyway, I just wanted to chat a little bit tonight. Oh, goodness. June is almost over, and it's finally, June is almost over. 4th of July is coming up. Hopefully you guys are going to have some fun. I might try to hang out with somebody real fast or something. I don't know. But then again, who knows what can happen. There's this one video I kind of want to do, but I'm not sure how I want to do this because if I had to show you examples, and I try not to show you examples. But anyway, whatever you're doing, hope you stay safe, hope you stay calm, stay cool, stay collective, do what you gotta do, make the money as much as you can, spend your money the way you like, have fun, try to treat everybody with dignity and respect. Not like these idiots you see people filming on Facebook, like the lady in the Central Park who didn't have their dog on a leash when you're supposed to have your dog on a leash, and you're getting filmed and stupid shit like that. So with that, I want to say good night to you. It's almost time for you to go to bed anyway, so I'm gonna watch some YouTube videos on the TV and call it a night. Hope you're doing well. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down. If you don't like some things, let me know. Tell me, are you full of shit? You don't know shit. Go ahead, say that. That's fine. I'd rather have someone call me out and then, then someone calls me out and deletes it. But I like one guy. I'll give you an example. I did a video which was about my drunk driving, my second drunk driving offense, and that video was like 40 minutes long. But I did it in such a way to make it entertaining. A lot of information, but I try to make it entertaining. And what happens? About 1,000+ people watch that. That's like over 1,000 views. And the thing is, a lot of people I've technically helped and calmed down when they got in that situation. So every now and then I'll get maybe 10 to 12 people calling, reacting to it. But yes, and I also did fart in the middle of that. Yes, I know I did. Yes, I got pointed out many times. Oh, I like this one part. I was like, what part is that? So I fast forward. I was like, oh, that's when I farted. Okay, but that's fine. Okay. I try to play off like, oh, you didn't hear anything. But anyway, but what happens? One time, this one person typed this response, and then I'm like, okay, someone responded to you. I'm like, okay, cool. I want to see what they said, and I can't find it. It's in my notifications, but I can't find it because that person typed it out. He probably didn't want people bitching about him. He probably didn't want to get flamed, which I can understand. But the thing is, I would have came at him with compassion. Even though he said some drunk driver killed his best friend, I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry that happened, but think about it. If you was in that situation, you would not be thinking the same thing. But anyway, I'd rather you just tell me flat out what you didn't like or what you hated about it, and let everybody hear it, let everybody see it, and let them make that decision too. But anyway, that's fine. If you want to share this video, go ahead and share this video. That's cool. But other than that, I'm going to try to watch some videos and go to sleep. And with that, hope you have a great night.